What's his name?
I don't.
Who knows?
Those are names that I choose not to keep in the brain hole.
It's Wednesday, my dudes.
Yeah, it's Wednesday.
Yeah,
Look at that.
Very exciting.
Everyone's gonna be like, "What? Who? Huh?"
Yeah, I know. My mom already told me she can't make it, so that's. I know. Everyone's highlight when my mom comes on and just roasts me. It's always the best. There you go. So so you're in your arcade room right now? Is that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, the arcade. Trying to frame it better, right? Just got the mobile set up.
Try not to show off the Morty picture you have back there, the Rick picture.
Oh no, that's fine. I have no problem with at this point. There's nothing wrong with the show. I mean, the multiple writers. I mean, apparently that's the news story that you read, right? He hasn't even apparently added any creative input to the show for the past 2 years.
No, he just cashes checks and does the voices, right?
Yeah, he cashes checks, does the voices. From what I was reading, there are people on the newer show, that alien show he's got on Hulu or whatever, that have never even met him. But they're higher ups, but they've never even seen him.
Because he doesn't come in and do any. Good for him. Sounds like he's got a good racket going.
Yeah. Apparently.
Does he does the voices on that show too?
Yeah, so he does the voice. So he just phones it in, right? He just comes in and reads the scripts and that's the end of that.
Man, if only I had practiced my stupid voices more.
Right? From my understanding, most of the episodes and whatnot for the past at least 2 seasons have all been written either by writers and then with input from Dan Harmon.
Yeah, that makes sense because they're real fourth Wally. They're very much bearing his soul to the world after he leaves his therapy sessions, Dan Harmon style, right?
Yeah, totally. And he I think he went through didn't he go through a divorce and lost a bunch of weight? If you follow him on any of the social medias, he likes to post on Instagram more than anything.
A second divorce? I don't even know.
Well, I know he was he was a big dude. He was a really heavy set big dude, and
I remember that.
He, all during COVID, he said, I'm stuck at home. Let me just lose weight, and so he would live stream from his treadmill.
Oh my gosh!
Went through a whole transformation. And,
what up, Stadium Arts? Thank you for calling us Hot Boys. You could just call me Stadium Wednesday Arts, my dude.
Yeah, Wednesday. Yeah, so the show's out on Wednesdays. I mean, I haven't broadcasted enough. I probably should have put out more. I didn't. It was such a busy day with the direct, and I worked later than I wanted to, and then I helped. We had dinner and whatnot, and then I had some technical issues trying to get the mic working here. Anyway, it's a mess.
These are all excuses.
All excuses for sure. But we're going to talk about the Nintendo Direct because it was pretty awesome.
Is that what we're going to talk about? That's awesome. Oh, yeah. So we were talking about Dan Harmon and his weight loss plan for COVID was to stream his treadmill.
Yeah. So we're talking about because he was talking about the Rick and Morty mask that's right there.
Yeah.
And he was like, "You're gonna hide it," and I'm like, I got no problem with the show.
It's perfectly situated behind Joe's head. Yeah. I'm like, look, he's got it perfectly situated back.
But again, he hasn't even worked on the show in 2 years or something like that.
Yeah, Justin Roiland. Now Justin Roiland's the one that's gone. Dan Harmon's still there. Dan Harmon's the main studio worker, and he's the one who weight lost on a treadmill.
Yeah, he did all that.
You're all caught up. Thanks for jumping on. Lunacy over here.
Oh man, how was your week so far, man? I'm waiting for a couple more people to trickle in if they're going to come in. If not, we're just going to go live and see what happens.
It's been good. It's been good. Sometimes I'm like, how has it only been how is it only Wednesday? Is really what my thought process is because it's just been a lot. So, but my brother got me back into Minecraft, so that's what I've been playing with him. We've been trolling each other on Minecraft. Oh, look at that! Dan made it on.
Daddy, he showed up. There you go. He was talking how he wasn't going to be able to make it on Wednesdays because his daughter's got a sport or an instrument. I can't remember what he mentioned, but
I don't. You're blowing him up. You're blowing him up.
Yeah. So
thanks for jumping on.
Thanks for jumping on, man. Thanks for jumping on. I appreciate it so much. My dear wife of 20 years said, "You love your podcast." I'd agree to pick her up. Love it. I appreciate that. Let's go. Let's roll these. Let's roll the brand.
Let's get this show on the road. We're already 10 minutes late.
We are. Let's go. Welcome to Mid-Geek Christ, episode 204. Welcome, our new night, our permanent night, unless anything changes, of course. But we've been doing this for a few years now, and we always chose Tuesday, and that was just because that was the most convenient time at the time that we started the show. But I've come to realize that Wednesday, man, companies like to drop those juicy bits right on Wednesdays, and sure enough, we'd do the show on Tuesday, and then Wednesday would roll around, and all of this stuff would get announced, released, and then like by the time next Tuesday rolled around, either I'd forget it or there would just be like too much
other more recent stuff to talk about. Yep.
Yeah. So sure enough, Wednesday came, and just like I imagined yesterday, Nintendo not out of the blue, kind of everyone already knew the schedule, the constant roll. Everyone was guessing that there should have been a February direct, and sure enough, they announced it bright and early in the morning. They were like, tomorrow afternoon at 5 Eastern, there's going to be a direct, and everyone was waiting for it because we've got Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 or Tears of the Kingdom coming out.
Okay,
less than 100 days. And there hadn't been any like news or
less than 100. That's actually pretty soon then, right?
Yeah. So
great.
So less than 3 months away from now, and it's just it's very weird for them to kind of like have such a big release and not have any news or information on it.
Well, this is it. I guess like maybe media companies are kind of realizing that the hype train doesn't need to be as long, that you can really hype people up 100 days or 30 days before, get them to buy it, and get them out.
Yeah,
for all that stuff, right? With all the Twitter things like that. Looks like Rolls is on. Thanks for jumping on, Rolls.
Hey, what's going on, Rolls?
Awesome. Do you have some footage of the direct?
Yeah, we'll be talking about it for sure. It's a lot, but not really, right? So before I even talk about what they announced, I think if for anyone who did watch it, one of my takeaway from it, I guess, before I talk about everything that they announced, is it seems like Nintendo had a lot of this stuff on the burner, waiting kind of to pile it up, to kind of just hold on to it. And you'll notice that some of the announcements that they kind of just said dropped today, like without any delay. No 3 months, 6 months from now. It was just like, boom, it's coming out next week, coming out end of February, coming out in March.
Sure.
And what it's really feeling like is that Nintendo is really heavy loading the first half of the year, like the right up to summer. They're really loading up, and it almost feels like they might have new hardware to promote for the holidays. Because everything they announced was either expansions, DLCs, remasters, or new additions to like their online service, and then Zelda. And everything was either expansions for games that already exist, games that have already been announced, games that are, they announced release dates for a lot of the games, but there wasn't anything like, hey, we're working on this, it's coming 2024 or holiday. Sometimes they like to drop a name or a game or something, some sort of mention for the holiday season early so that you're kind of expecting it. But it almost feels like they're buttoning up the Switch. Not that they're going to stop playing Switch games, but I think they're really focusing on whatever they're doing next is going to be announced probably this summer. We'll probably get the E3 window. We're going to get maybe the announcement of a Switch Pro, a Switch 2, whatever they're going to freaking call it. And I think we're going to get they're going to follow the same process that all these other companies are going through.
I don't care. It's got to have Game Pass on it. Otherwise. It's just who I am. It's just who I am. That's the deal, Nintendo. Get the Xbox Game Pass on there, and I'm good to go.
I wanted to say here, I saw one game that said August, and that was that's right, Dan. So that was like the furthest out that I saw. Everything was like by the end of summer, everything should be out that we announce here. And it seemed interesting to me because Nintendo doesn't tend to do that. Nintendo's always been known to like announce things way too early, right? And one of the big rumors is like, hey, we've been waiting for news on Metroid Prime 4. Where's Metroid Prime 4? That thing was announced at the beginning, like pre the Switch. Like it's coming. And then, all the news, all the dev news hit that they kind of rebooted it. Like they started from scratch. They dumped what they had and they moved to a new studio. They brought it back to Retro Studios, makers of Prime 1 and 2 and 3. So at that point, it's like they just started development all over again. And now it almost seems like that game is probably not coming out for the Switch.
Why wouldn't it come out for the Switch?
I think it's next hardware.
But, well, I mean, it should come out for the Switch. It seems weird that they would launch something.
Well, they haven't. That's the thing. They just, the only thing we've ever seen is a name.
That's true.
It's literally been a logo that says Metroid Prime 4. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we've had.
It's been vaporware for a long time.
Yeah, it's vaporware. So at this point, like they could call it whatever they want, and where it's going to show up. Maybe it shows up for Switch, but it'll probably be like an enhanced version for the next. I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be that this. I predict that this next hardware release for Nintendo is going to be the same as Xbox and PlayStation. Development is expensive. Game development in general, studios and the cost of these games are expensive. So being able to make a system that can maybe play the same game and maybe just enhance it and move it up seems to be the way to go, because case in point, PlayStation 5, you pop in a PlayStation 4 game, and if they release a patch, you might get faster frame rate, better graphics, maybe HDR.
Or you'll get GoldenEye and it just sucks.
Or you get GoldenEye, it sucks. But
sorry, Rolls. Sorry. I know.
It's the same thing. Xbox did the same thing. We've got 360 games that look amazing, that play amazing, and then the Xbox One games on the Series X and Series S got enhancements, run faster.
That's true.
Play better. True. So I'm imagining that the next Switch Pro, Switch Ultra, Switch 2, new Switch, because they like to put the new. Remember they did with the 3DS, new 3DS. Like
it's gonna be the Switch DS. No wait, Switch DS. There's gonna be 2 screens, huge clamshell. You close and open it.
Yeah. You're
like, I'd buy that. I
probably would. Let's.
Hey, thanks for jumping on, Stadium. Thank you very much for subscribing. Appreciate it. New Switch U Revolution Ultra 64. That's good. You could play Metroid 4 on it if you like. Maybe. Who knows? Yeah,
so let's talk about some of the things that they announced.
Yeah, no. Let's definitely dive into that.
Of course, one of the bigger announcements was, and again, I see if I can get my audio working on this, because I think the audio isn't working.
You know what? I'm sorry, Joe. I'm gonna let you finish, but first we got to talk about.
Yeah, let's go for it. Bring it up.
All right. I'm just like, what is he doing here?
What are you doing? So before I get into
the you all see this thing?
Yeah,
this is the Mid-Geek crisis.
So right? Pedro is very. He's not usually the type of person to send me a text message or a message of like, "Hey, I'm hype about this," and he goes, "Yo," and sends me this link. I'm drooling over here, and I'm like, "What? This doesn't even sound like you." And sure enough, he sends me, if you haven't seen this news, Lego has announced
look at this beautiful thing. Look at this. Look.
Yeah, no.
Feast upon it. Find a private space. Where's the shot of the squad? Look at the squad, Joe. Look at the squad.
Yeah. The fellowship.
Stadium. Yes.
Yeah.
I wanted wild hard. I'll just say it. This thing, what did I say? It has old Bilbo. You see old Bilbo there? Check out old Bilbo. You see old Bilbo? Yeah.
Oh yeah, there it is. Oh, is that does he have the face?
That's the face. Well, it might be the face, but it's got.
Maybe he's got one of those head turners.
Look, he's riding the Hobbit right there in the goddamn corner of the house.
That's great.
It's almost like they got together and they said, how can we extract money from nerds? Oh, right. We'll include a broken sword so you can play the shards of Narsil. Stadium. It's the shards of the blade of Ilsador. So, yeah, I'm getting it. I mean, there's no doubt about it. My brother is a VIP member of the Lego store, and I'm like, you better pre-order it right now. Order it right now.
Yeah. No,
It's not often that I buy this. Like, I mean, look at this thing. Look at it. Oh, it's like huge. And Lego shall be free.
Oh man.
I'm gonna get this, and I'm gonna send you pictures of it all the time. Oh no, Stadium.
No, it's this is Lego we're talking about here. 200. So let's talk about it. So what's the Do you remember what the price is per Lego piece? There's a calculation, right? So if a Lego set has there's a not including license, right? So there's price per Lego plus license. So like Lego sets that are like a couple thousand pieces are like in the 150, 200, like Optimus Prime, the Optimus Prime Lego.
Sure.
Set, which is not even a set. He's just the one Lego, the one big like Optimus Prime. He's about $170, right? If I remember correctly, 170.
Right. That's a cheap license, right?
And that's a cheaper license. Disney sets and Star Wars sets tend to be a little more. They get to bump up a little more because they got to pay for that license. And then those sets, depending on like the Millennium Falcon, is what, like $599?
The big at was like $700, dude. Like these things are not cheap.
Yeah.
These are adult sets. They're exclusives, right? You see, that's an important word for nerds. You got to get it right away.
Yeah, you got to get it.
What is this? 6,167.
Yeah. So there's a calculation. So the 6,000, you can divide it and what it costs per piece, and then if you go and look, that tends to be like what the cost of the majority of other sets run to. Like there is definitely a mathematical equation for all of this.
Yeah, the mathematical equation is it is worth $500.
Yeah, it's $500.
I'm going to build it. The Mandalorian ship was 6,000 pieces and was $600 because I imagine the Disney license was probably coming in real expensive. They dropped that real soon after the show too. There hasn't been a Lord of the Rings set in a real long time, and I don't know how that relationship goes, but this one is like, I mean, this one is, look at the tile work on the building, man. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look, those are each individual pieces that you have to lay down to get that fall motif for Rivendell. Oh, this is some high quality. Look at the H2O. Look at that.
Speaking of Ivory Tower, hopefully we get an Isengard set.
Yeah, Stadium. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like this is the plight, I think, of the middle-aged geek, where you're like, kids' college fund or an extra Rivendell set. She can probably sell the Rivendell set later. It'll be worth a lot of money, right? Like, right, extra.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair,
I resisted the Star Wars. The Star Wars, Joe, but this set is too beautiful not
which
for me
is
to
so
get.
interesting to me because you are not I know you love Lord of the Rings, but you also like hate like the elves in Lord of the Rings. You're just like, yeah. You're like, come on.
I just hate things that are beautiful.
Yeah. That's I knew it. I knew someone clipped that. Jeez, beautiful. Yeah, I know it.
No,
I was like, he's totally geeking out of like the Lord of the Rings.
Oh, I'm geeking out on this shit. This is a gorgeous set. I mean, we
get minus XP for even referencing Lord of the Rings.
I mean, do you know how many scenes from the books I can play out with just this one set? All of them. Here it goes.
Yeah, no, I mean, somebody sees
it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. I will send you a picture.
Is there a Bombadil figure?
There's no bump. All right, we're done here.
Come back. Oh,
what?
Oh, lovely.
This Rivendell set stadium, so $200 for a Bombadil set. All right, that's fair.
Yeah, That's so yeah. That was announced. That was at there are other Lord of the Rings Lego sets. I mean, this isn't the first time they've had Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. I mean, they don't make any of them anymore.
Yeah, right? They're all out of print because they only came out usually during the movies.
Small fortunes on the eBays. An ancient being in an old ash tree in Lego, surely. Yeah, $200. You're right, $200, and then another $200 for the license.
So Dan, the sucky part about that is that Mega Bloks bought the light. They signed a really big, deep contract with CBS and Paramount for Star Trek many years ago, And that is the reason why you don't see an Enterprise Lego set. There are fan sets. There are what's that company that they kind of build a set that there's ones that you could buy fan ones made like full Enterprise and like Lego.
I've never seen a single Star Trek set.
No, but there is a Mega Block. Mega Blocks does have their Mega Block set, and they're not very good because they don't stick very well. They're not the same.
Yeah, Mega Blocks are trash.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody. If you're a big fan of Mega Blocks, I don't know what to tell you. You made bad choices.
Yes. So there is.
They do Halo too. Is it Mega Blocks' Halo?
Yeah.
The mini Halo figs look nice, but I don't know about the sets.
So here's
jeez, Mega Blocks, I love it.
Here's
I didn't even know there was I know there was a Playmobil Star Trek Enterprise, which is pretty awesome, Dan, if you can find it. I think that one's like a ridiculous amount of money though. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's so I hate it.
Yeah. It's like $500 for the construction set, and it's just like,
man, that must have been like a $300 license.
Yeah,
I know. I was like 945 pieces for $500. That's quite steep.
Yeah, and I think it's the price is because it's probably out of print, right? Like that seems to be a out of print set, maybe. But visit the Mega Store. But yes, they have Halo. Like they got some
Halo. They got Call of Duty, right? Call of Duty, maybe Little Walking Dead. They got weird properties.
Yeah, so they've got Halo, Masters of the Universe, Pokemon.
Their Pokemon sets aren't that bad though.
Yeah, but that's because they just make one big Pokemon, right? But also, what the difference is that Mega Bloks doesn't do Lego people. Their characters are too articulated. Like the whole purpose of Lego is to be like
a Lego minifig.
Yeah, like a Lego minifig, right? So, for example, here's the Halo set, and these are what the figures look like.
Yep.
Like that's not like, yeah, okay, that's fine, but you might as well just have little tiny action figures. The purpose is to take a character and make them look like a Lego person.
Yeah. No, they make little action figures, and the Star Wars look the same, and their sets aren't that. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said, their minifigs look fun. They look like little scale miniatures you can play with.
Right.
So like, sets are garbage.
Yeah, I mean, those look great on your desk, but I don't like. You can't even like cross play, right? Like you can't even like bring those into like a Lego set to like mix and match because they don't match. Like give me a Master Chief in the like minifig style. That'd be cool. But we can't because Mega Bloks signed in like probably like a perpetuity of like 10 years or something like that. Something ridiculous to like hold on to that license.
Oh, it's so ugly that they took Mega Bloks looks like if you took a Lego game and ported it to the Game Boy. That's a good way to put it. Dan.
Yeah, it is a good way to put it. It's just not. They're just not fun looking. They've also got they've got some cool sets, which kind of sucks because I would
think about Mega Bloks. Rivendell, everybody, save your money, sell your stuff, get the Rivendell sets. We can all talk about it later. That's
like here's a good one. They do have adult sets. That's what they call them. They actually call them adult sets, and some of them are pretty cool because they're really trying hard to like compete with Lego. So they've got Masters of the Universe. So they've got like a full Castle Grayskull set, which looks pretty cool. But then they've also got this, which if it was Lego,
Oh, okay. Skeletor's is
it's his whole staff.
Yeah, made out of Legos, huh?
Mega Block, right? 741 pieces. It's his Havoc staff.
I mean, it's a pretty good looking staff, actually.
Yeah, sure. It's just not Lego.
It's just not Lego, and
yeah, so it tends to be kind of one of those like $66.
I mean, how much would an actual replica of it cost, right? Like how much?
Right, like at that point, you just might as well just buy an actual replica, like 3D printed,
right from the Dolph Lundgren movie set, right?
Oh yeah, for the best one, the best movie. Oh, God.
Was there another He-Man movie? Maybe I missed that one. It is, in fact, the best one by definition of being the only one.
Yeah, the only one. Well, yeah, we have. Yeah, no, yeah. So again, like I stated, Lego in general expensive, but that's the only news that Pedro has all week. He's been silent, and then he sends me this message like out of nowhere, and he's like, "Lego, Lord of the Rings, did you see this shit?" And I'm like, "Who are you?"
I was like harassing my brother about it too. I'm like, yo, spend the points. Get me this. Get me this. He's like, I'm not buying this for $500. And then he's also like, don't get into Lego. It's too deep. You get addicted. You wind up collecting them all. And I'm like, no, I could stop at Rivendell. I'm really good at stopping and collecting things. This is my skill set.
Yeah, so am I. I don't. Don't turn the camera. There's more on the other side.
This is a crisis. This is a crisis. But no, I mean, like, I'll find a space for it. It'll be like right there. You could see it. Maybe I'll put it back there on some shelves. It's gonna look nice. It's gonna look nice. My daughter's not gonna be allowed to play with it. I can't wait. That's capitalism, baby. I mean, you gotta live your life.
Yep.
You gotta live your life.
So let's talk about
Nintendo Direct. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's talk about the Nintendo Direct here and some of the things that they announced. So again, everyone was kind of speculating. Everyone knew what was on the docket, right? Like, to at least the 100% thing was we were going to get a new trailer for Tears of the Kingdom. Here's a game that was announced long ago. It was delayed to this year. Then at the end of last year, they announced the release date, which was going to be in May. And they're like, we're in February now. Like, give me a trailer. Give me something. Where is it? And sure enough, here's the Direct, and they dropped a new trailer. So we'll get to that. They showed it at the very end. That was the last bit of the trailer, but they had some wonderful surprises to kind of show.
Okay. All right.
First off, one of the things that was interesting to me was they finally releasing this. This particular game had been announced a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago now.
Okay.
And it was ready to go. A week before it released, or was going to release, the Ukrainian-Russian war broke out.
Mm-hmm.
So they said, nope, and they halted it. Why? Because it's a war game.
Oh, Nintendo. Okay, all right.
Yeah, so
it's Call of Duty Nintendo Switch Edition? No, this is... I'm sorry. I'll take it back. It is... okay. They're reboots.
Skills ready.
Yeah.
Calling all strategy fans. The Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp game is only a couple of months away. Join
That is a
Andy,
ridiculous
Max,
wrench to repair your bike
Sammy,
with.
and more in 2 full story campaigns, each one filled with colorful turn-based tactical action. Flex your strategic muscles across a multitude of modes. Design your own maps and share them with friends. Plus, go head-to-head in local and online play.
Are they going to show us the
Wars
game?
1+2 Reboot Camp.
I mean, that's a lot. What it looks like they animated everything, and the sprites are different.
Pre-orders begin today.
Is it really? I don't remember.
Yeah. So, interesting fact about that game is right before it launched, like I said, it was like a week before it launched, the war broke out. There was one person out of the blue. The person has no idea how it happened. The game unlocked. She had pre-ordered it. The game unlocked on her console. And she was able to play it. She was like posting screenshots. She's like, I don't know what happened. I didn't do anything. I don't have a hack switch. There's nothing going on. I have this game loaded on my Switch.
So they had a fully formed game that they held. Did she beat it?
I don't know. I didn't follow up the news. I know that I think Nintendo reached out to her, and I think they like,
please stop, please.
Well, I think they were like, we'll replace your Switch here. You know, it needs to be off that. Like, you can't have it.
Went away a few days later. All right, so they found her. The Nintendo police found her. And
oh yeah, well, I mean, she posted that she had it, and it just took or who got the key? How did that happen? And sure enough, I'm sure the Nintendo ninjas showed up and like confiscated her Switch, gave her a new one, and
handed her a cease and desist, and
made her sign an NDA and all sorts of stuff. No, I mean, I can only imagine, right? And I mean, this isn't like a big AAA release for them. It was just a re-release to a game. It's a
re-release of 1 and 2, right?
Yeah, but they didn't want to release it. I mean, I get it, but wars happening all the time. It's just a weird
Yeah, but wars in Europe matter, Joe.
Oh, right. That's right.
I mean, that's what
in Europe.
Europe. Yeah, that's really what
everything outside of the Middle East, right? No.
Those the ones that matter. Sorry, I mean, like, you're right. It's literally wars all the time, but those are the ones we're going to worry about. And I think it went away a few days later. It was last April when it was supposed to come out, so they delayed it about a year. Hopefully, they polished it. I like the Advance Wars series. I mean, was that a dual screen game or a?
No, it was a Game Boy Advance.
It was the first one was a Game Boy Advance.
All of them were.
All of them were all right.
Yeah, I mean, okay. To be fair, what's interesting is in the U.S. we only got Advance Wars. but that series is part of an older series that's been around since the Famicom days and the Super Famicom days, but it never came out in the US. It was actually called Famicom Wars.
All right. Yeah.
So it's an old tactical war game, just like split screen, like the, attack 1, 2. It's got rock, paper, scissors style.
Right. Artillery,
Numbers.
infantry beats this. Yeah, no, I'll dig it.
And
Planes.
but the only entry we got here in the US was the Advanced War series Onward. So we only got those. But the series itself is older. But yeah, we never got anything else past that. I don't think there was a GameCube game.
No, I only remember 1 and 2 for portables.
Yeah, it was all portable.
Maybe I played it on my DS because they played Game Boy Advance games, right? There was one that played Game Boy Advance games. I feel like I played it on the DS, but I could be wrong.
You probably played on a DS Lite.
Well, maybe, yeah.
So because that had the Game Boy Advance port at the bottom.
There you go. Yeah. All right.
Because it was backlit, right? Because we didn't have backlit. Advance was the SP. And then the SP finally got the brighter screen, but then by the time we got the proper form factor for the Advance, it was the DS, so you play your DS games. It was like the best way to play the Advance for a long time.
That's right. I remember
the best screen. So, but yeah. So that's awesome that we're finally getting that. I mean, again, it's over a year. He said it was coming out in April, so it's supposed to come out release in April, and then it didn't. It went away, and it was just quietly pushed away. And everyone was like, "Where is this game? Why didn't it come?" Everyone expected it for the holidays. It didn't come out for the holidays.
And now they put it out now.
And now it's coming out. So a year later.
Like that war's never going to end. So
yeah, they're like, might as well at this point, right?
Dan, all the knowledge comes through.
Well,
Nintendo has sent an email saying they're canceling my purchase and refunding. Was fun while it lasted. Got a few missions of the first game's campaign done. Well done, random internet person playing that broken hacked Switch of yours. Dallas Fort Worth Computer Gamers, thanks for jumping on. Says stuck watching a Jersey Mike's commercial with Danny DeVito. Thanks, Twitch. All right. Fair enough. And that's the same sounds they made when they Stadium Arts is making fun of your barking dog, Joe. There you go.
Yeah, they just decided to run out here. I think they're weirded out because I'm wearing my headphones in here. So they were like, what are you? Anywho.
Man, dogs are all right.
They're like, you have a hat on. I don't recognize you anymore. What?
I know, I'm like, that's both charming and also really annoying. Meanwhile, my cat's like, intruder? I'll go back to sleep.
Yeah. Like, what?
Yeah, it's fine. It'll be fine. Oh, are they still barking, dude? That's amazing. Oh, all right.
They're fine. They're my corgi's out here. She barks like once or twice, but it's the Schnauzer, man. The Schnauzer is weird. Like she's silent and sweet and chills, but then when it comes to new people or ringing of the doorbell, absolutely flips out. Like complete different personality flip. And I'm just like, come on, man. Like uncontrollable, silliness.
I don't like dogs. My front screen door makes noise from the wind blowing my dog's bark. See, there you go. Yeah.
The dogs are interested. They could either be quiet and chill, or they could just bark at any little loud noise. And anywho, love them to death. They make me happy. But that one in general is just a
scared the hell out of me. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I was like, Anywho, let's talk about what else they released. So the next thing, we got Pikmin 4. We're getting a release date on that, July 21st.
Super excited for Pikmin 4. Great.
Yeah, that's a big one. Go watch the trailer. That's a long trailer. They started off the direct with that. They just pretty much just launched right into that. And then something that had been rumored, something that again, everyone knew was coming. It was inevitable, right? But for some reason they never it just didn't happen. And let me put it up. They announced a Metroid Prime
reboot,
remake, a remaster, and they ghost dropped it today.
Oh wow!
You just go download it today, which was awesome.
It's got dual analog support, as Stadium says.
That which is again, they never do this kind of stuff. Again, this is why I'm saying that they held back.
Joe's giving that dog a lecture. Now, what system did this Prime originally drop on? Was it the Wii? The N64? The N65?
It's that GameCube, baby.
Oh, GameCube.
Without dual analog. So you couldn't control it. It was like one analog, and you had the little yellow nub, but it didn't do camera movement.
Well, this looks better than GoldenEye. It was exciting.
Yeah.
Or motion waggling, any of that motion waggling. I like, man, upsetting nerds is so much fun. I love it.
The releases.
Love it.
What's he makes fun of the Wii version of it, but they did not remaster it because you can't even call it a remaster. They released a Metroid Prime trilogy pack on the Wii, which was it, and it's all 3 games, 1, 2, and 3. The third one was the only one released on the Wii with the motion controls, but the re-release for Metroid Prime 1 on the Wii had really good controls. Like if there was one game type that worked on the Wii, it was first person shooters. Because it was great. It had good motion. You could move around with the nunchuck, right? So same thing that you would have on a controller, but then the aiming was like really smooth. You could really like move around with the Wiimote. So I personally love playing the first one on the Wii. I have no problem.
Yeah, but you were alone on that one, Joe.
I promise you, there's a lot of people that like it that way. The aiming and the movement was really fluid,
really smooth. Made for it, right? It was made for.
Well, I mean, I think it's even smoother than probably this re-release because again, it's dual analogs, but with the gyro, right? It was smoother. You could really kind of zoom in. I mean,
you want to go.
I mean, did anyone play like when you had the Wiimote, any of the archery, like Twilight Princess on the Wii? When you held down the trigger on the nunchuck to kind of like bring up the arrow, you'd then just kind of like move in and you could really narrow down headshots. And the Switch has that, right? So like on the Switch, when you play Breath of the Wild, when you pull up the bow to aim, the moment you do that, the accelerometer kicks in, and then all of a sudden you can really like move the tablet. I love it. Everyone hates not having it. Once you have it, you can't move back. You can't go back.
All right, fair enough.
Because you get finer movement, right? Instead of the analog being, the micro movements.
I don't need, so I guess like Joe, I don't need finer movement. I need an easier game, right? That's really where I am right now. I'm an old man. I don't need finer movement or granular pixel polygons. I just need an easier game. Like that's really what I want to lay on a couch and enjoy the game.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's what I need.
So anywho, that dropped today. It's out. Go to the Nintendo eShop, and it's $39.99. And it's got great new textures and graphics and motion. The controls are better. And the digital version came out today, and there's a physical version that'll be in stores February 22nd.
That's pretty awesome.
So Nintendo was like, we're also giving you a physical release, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. And it's like quiet time. I don't think the other systems are really dropping anything.
Right.
Like, big games have already dropped, right? So now they're after the fact, stealing their thunder kind of deal. Well, Stadium's like, downloading it right now. For preservation, right, Stadium?
I mean, I already bought it too. It's on my Switch. Like, it's downloading as we speak.
So here, Cautious making us mad while we laugh at his Lego Harry Potter set. Listen, just because I'm a huge fan of when Dumbledore went down to visit Bilbo and find the ring with him, can't pick on me, all right? All nerds love different things. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Patrick Stewart's greatest role, right? Patrick Stewart did a great job as Dumbledore.
Yes. Like
Joe's like, wait.
Don't break me. Make it so. So this was
to correct me. I can see you be like, I need to not correct him.
It's not like that meme with the guy like holding back with the veins popping out of his forehead.
He's trolling me, but I don't want to take the bait. I don't want it.
You want to take the bait, man. So this was announced during the Game Awards, but all we got was a really cool like animation trailer. But here it is in gameplay, and it looks really cool. And I'm excited for this because it's like peanut butter and chocolate, right?
Is it a Castlevania game? Oh yeah,
The Dead Cells expansion for Castlevania.
This is better than peanut butter and chocolate.
Knock it on Dracula's coffin.
So good. Good music too.
Yeah, they have full composed music.
Wow, what a perfect DLC to drop for your perfect game.
Right?
I gotta. That's Dead Cells is already a fantastic Metroid-like game if you want to rock out, or Castlevania, Metroidvania game.
Yeah, correct.
I couldn't. I mean, not many games even came close to how enjoyable Dead Cells was. And dropping a Castlevania DLC on it is just perfect. It's just saying, hey, we acknowledge our grandfather. Come on in and play with us, right? It's sort of like.
So here's the wonderful gameplay. Freaking Richter just did.
That game is too smooth. Every mistake in that game was my own. Every mistake.
Yeah, you own every mistake. Oh my God, going up the stairwell. Oh my God.
What a labor of love.
Yeah.
I bought it early on, played it once, and my kid thought it was gross. My kid thought it was gross too. All those squishy sounds when you crush your enemies, or when you die, or when you become a squishy enemy. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. No.
She was also pretty young, so she didn't understand how I enjoyed dying and starting over right away. She was just like, "But you died, now you're starting over," and I'm like, "Yeah, you get good." Let me
read you the scroll of get good. Like that's how it works.
Exactly.
That's how it works.
You died to that enemy, you think about the next time, you remember how you beat it next time, and you go for it. So yeah, that was and that game was smooth, man. Oh, can't download it now though. No time at all. And again, the more announcements. We got more Splatoon stuff, which look great. The expansion. So an interesting thing, the new expansion, I guess we're going to call it. Yeah, I guess it's a paid DLC expansion pass for the for Splatoon 3. I need to read more on it, so I can't give you all the information. What they did is they added the city from Splatoon 1 as a hub. So Inkopolis. And so that the initial like hub city for the first game. That was one of my biggest like annoyances with Splatoon 2. So Splatoon 2 came out on the Switch. So did Part 3, right? But Part 1 was stuck and is stuck on the Wii U, a console that sold 6 million units, right? Like, or 10, I think is the last time I checked. Like 10 million units total. And unless every single person that bought a Wii U bought a copy of Splatoon 1, you cut that in half maybe of the amount of people that actually played the first one. But right. The install base for Part 2 is huge. It's massive. It's like 15 times over the amount of people that played Part 1. So Part 2's got lore. Like there's actually like a story like involving like how things kind of came to be. And Part 3 is kind of continuing that with its single player. And they also announced a next expansion, which is going to be more lore. I'm hoping that they took the single player part of Splatoon 1 and added it to this one so people could play Splatoon 1 like the story mode. Oh, so get access to that story and
yeah, because I mean it's locked out into a console in a game that.
So sometimes I'm always like, so a game about kids running around painting areas has deep lore.
Yeah. And again, it's not kids, right? So you're squid people.
Oh right, okay, all right, that makes
so sense. You're squid people, and then like the enemies are like the the octopus people. I always forget what their names are, but they're like they're different, but they're the same. Like then there's like all this lore and like this ancient war and all this stuff that happened. So when you play the first game, you're picking up little pieces of it and like
got it.
Pretty deep, like way
You're
deeper.
a Squid Kid.
You're a
Okay,
Squid Kid,
right.
baby. Yeah, it's interesting. Like the game shouldn't have any of that lore, and it really doesn't
Right.
matter.
That's it would look like just like a multiplayer game, right?
Right. Like, but there's also like why it's a dystopian, right? It really
all
is.
dystopian universes. It's all dystopian universes.
But then like the kids have like fashion, and fashion is like a part of like the culture and the music as well. So like every version of Splatoon has had like a pop star or whatever, a created pop star to kind of be the voice of the game. So part 1, part 2, part 3 all have like these pop stars that like perform and talk to you, and they give you the news every day when you log in because they change the maps up to play. I don't know. It's an interesting type of game, but even those characters are like silent infantry warriors for like this underground war that's happening and the lore that's happening. It's really interesting. It's wild. It's wild. It's fun. But the first part was completely.
It's like, am I the only one that finds the music super annoying? Probably, Dan.
Probably, because I actually have the soundtrack and I jam to it on my car.
I mean, you're the only one on this show. I don't have an opinion. Joe loves it. Yeah, you're the only one who finds it super annoying.
So far, maybe there's other people in chat that find it annoying. I know I rock out to the music all the time, and it's of course it's because it sounds like like weird alien voice. It's weird, like it's not a language.
All right,
but the music is really cool. So,
did we get any update on the Super Mario Brothers movie?
We did not. I mean, the last one we got was the big trailer. They did announce some new posters, right? Okay. So they've got some new posters that were announced today.
I didn't know if that was part of Nintendo Direct's announcement.
No, we got a Luigi poster, which was kind of the big one. Let's see if I can pull that up for you.
Look at Rolls. Never played it or heard the music, but sure, I'll say it's annoying. Rolls, come on, we're not haters here, right? We're not haters, except for Dan, who finds Squid Kid music annoying.
Where is this poster? Come on. Why is it not the first link? There it is. There it is. But yeah, the poster was released. It's really cool. Again, some of these posters, I gotta find someone that's gonna sell these third party and get some of these framed, because I think they'd go great in the game room. For sure.
You don't have space in the game room for them, Joe.
Space, baby. Yeah, here's the poster.
Oh, there it is. Very nice.
So that was the Mario. They had a Mario poster as well of him just jumping, the basic Mario pose, jumping and with blocks in the background. But this is the Luigi one. So I'm wondering what his role in the movie is. It seems like from the trailer that we got and this poster, it seems like when they both get sucked in or whatever, he gets kidnapped. So like he's the kidnapped person, not Princess Peach.
All right, that's cool. That's nice. Is Luigi Charlie Day?
Yeah.
Right, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Trying to remember.
So I'm excited for that. Again, we get that
April. Pretty exciting.
April. Yeah, so that's also not too far off now. Wow. Time is flying. We're already in February, by the way. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did. It makes me like sad. So winter. I mean, we barely had a winter up here. It's gone by so quickly. So
did you play RPGs on the GameCube? I remember that the GameCube was one of the last major like deep cut Nintendo
I feel like I played like one of the Final Fantasies on there. Maybe the Crystals. Was that one of the ones on there? Final Fantasy Crystal something or other. So I don't remember. I can't remember that far back. Resident Evil was a big one on me for the GameCube.
Yeah, so you had Resident Evil 4 was definitely the release on the GameCube.
Yeah.
And then they released.
That's it. Crystal Chronicles. Thank you.
Crystal Chronicles was really good. And that one was also one of those expensive games, right? Because you wanted to play it and you bought the game, but then you had to have like friends with Game Boy Advance and their cables.
Yeah, but like a Switch, all my friends had Game Boy Advances. Like
No. I mean, we all did too. I'm just saying, like, it was one of those more investment games, right? Because just because your friends had Game Boys didn't mean that they had like all the wires that you needed. So
it was a really small funnel, right? It had to be friends with the Game Boy that wanted to play, that were willing to come over, right? So it was like
which ended up being any of my friend circles.
It wound up being handing the controller to my brother. Hey, come on, can you please help play with me, please?
Let's jump in. Same thing with what is it? Four Swords, right? So Four Swords was another one that like
I didn't play Four Swords.
You had the game, and then you had Game Boys, and you had cables, and the the gameplay was very unique, something that no other system could do at the time, because you had the main screen, right? So one of the cool features on Crystal Chronicles and was that your inventory and your life, like all of your maps, was on the. So every character, every person sitting on the couch, like playing, was controlling a character
and not slowing down
the game with menus or anything. So it was a Final Fantasy game that was optimized because everyone had their own screen. Same with Four Swords. With Four Swords, it was that that Link to the Past style kind of top view gameplay with 4 links running around. But then you'd be on this map and someone would bomb a wall and they'd run into a cave. And when they'd run in the cave, like you'd show up on the advance, like you'd show up and you'd play, you'd loot or whatever, and then you'd jump back out and you'd be back on the main screen. Again, this is before like the Wii U and all of that. That was really cool. It was an innovative way to play and kind of, but the cost in was more, right? Because you needed a GameCube and the copy of Four Swords, and then you needed like the cable, and then you needed a Game Boy Advance, and then you needed 3 other friends to have the Game Boy Advance.
At least 3 other friends to come over and play with it.
Right.
It was, I mean, like it was multiplayer. It was like ahead of its time. It felt like, 18 Pandora, thanks for jumping on. I always link up Advance Wars GBA, and none of my friends had or even knew what it was or cared. Right, that's
yeah, and certain genres of game, right? So like Pokemon would have been a genre where, I mean, when I look back early on, not everyone I knew played Pokemon. I mean, now all kids play Pokemon, but like it was still like an RPG, like, you know what I mean? Like it was new. It was
an RPG for obsessive compulsives, and then it became like it's popular in cars.
With the cartoon and all that, and then eventually by like the 3rd game or 2nd game of the franchise, especially when the Advance or the 2nd wave of Game Boy Color games and all that came out, everyone was playing it. So I mean, you pull it out, you everyone had a link cable and you'd play. But a game like Advance Wars was very specific. It's for a specific genre. Either you had it or you didn't. You know, so yeah, I know, I get it. I mean, but everyone had Tetris, so that was always the link cable game.
That was a link cable game, yeah. Tetris, yeah, that was a blast. Yeah,
for sure.
Oh man, I wonder if I have my copy of Advance Wars GBA.
So I asked that because this game was announced as a remaster, and this is a game that I remember playing on GameCube, which is really cool that it's getting a remaster.
All right. I have no idea what this game is.
Yeah. I never knew how to say it properly, right? So, was it Batten Kaitos? Batten Chaos? Batten, I don't know.
Batten Kaitos?
Yeah, Batten Kaitos. Batten Kaitos. There we go.
Batten Kaitos. Got it.
Batten Kaitos, Eternal Wings and the Lost Ocean.
So it looks like we're getting like a whole package, an HD remaster.
It's really bright. Is it an action RPG or is it a?
Yeah.
Oh, you get Origins too?
I mean, that's a big package of games.
Batman Chaos? Yes,
Batman Chaos. That's it.
Nailed it, Team Pendori.
So when this game came out, right? So
fully voice acted. Man, these games.
Again, summer 2023, right?
That's pretty awesome.
So it's a cool game. I mean, if you remember, if you didn't play that game, you have to kind of go back, right? If you were into RPGs, like this is before the like the big draw that was Final Fantasy VII, right? Because Final Fantasy VII, whether you like it or not, was the JRPG that became mainstream and really showed people RPGs. And then some of us gamers were playing JRPGs. I mean, there were RPGs for a long time, but I mean, some of us were playing other Final Fantasy, like Final Fantasy III in the US, which is Final Fantasy VI. I mean, we were playing all of those prior to that, including a lot of the Super Nintendo ones.
Some of us were playing SSI games on our Commodore 64, Joe.
Right. Some of us were playing some of those. I'm just saying, like in general, after the post Final Fantasy VII world, you were either a Square fan or you might have dabbled into some of the if you played Square, you were Square, you might have played some of the Atlas games, but you weren't into it. This is a Bandai Namco one, and I remember playing this one, and I remember knowing like no one that played this game. So it's interesting that I remember playing it many years later again and going, this is a cool game, and other people will talk about it. But Tales of Symphona is another game that like I don't remember anyone playing.
That one's famous as shit. I mean,
yeah, but it's also another GameCube one. But I just again in the US, JRPGs weren't as popular until later.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, until the PlayStation, right?
Right. It showed JRPGs accessible to the mass audience. It brought movie-like cinematics, right? Because the FMV aspect of it gave you that like mind-blowing cinematic, which gave you that feel.
Plus, you got to play like environmental terrorists overthrowing an evil empire, right? Isn't that what you were doing in Final Fantasy VII? That was a real blast. That was back when environmentalists were the coolest thing in the world. Rose says sometimes I think the only person in the world that can't start RPGs. I don't.
So
we're talk about this in depth, Rolls, on a different show, maybe because
I think what's interesting about this comment, a lot of games are RPGs even when you don't know it or not. But sometimes it takes a specific RPG to kind of get you into the genre. You've got to have the gateway one, and then that feeds you into more of that style game. So you might not like them, but I guarantee you there's one out there for you. Like.
I'm curious as to how he defines it, right? Is it the leveling up? Is it the playing the character role? Is it making choices? What is the RPG that does not appeal to him? I'm curious about that.
So pretty sad no mention. So Silksong, we got the final mention. We didn't get a release date, but we got a mention of it during the Game Awards and some gameplay. So I mean, we know it's coming. Dragon Quest 3. I'm not sure when that's going to happen. I don't know what's going on with that, but you know how Square Enix works, right? They're working on something bigger or whatever to bring it to the US.
They're bringing something bigger. I'm sorry. What's DQ3 HD 2D? Is it?
It's Dragon Quest 3.
Dragon Quest 3. Okay.
HD.
All right.
Yeah.
HD 2D to distinguish it from 3D.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
It's like say, but similar horrible like Harry Potter 2, but then there's Dune. Right. Which means they're both fantasy. They're both in the fantasy genre. It just depends on what kind you like. So here you go.
Right. Like I don't like cookbooks, right? All books. I don't like books. No, I mean, to Cautious's point, all of the above. So interesting, right? So I'm curious. I guess like I think I know Rolls likes GoldenEye, and I'm thinking about it. Well, GoldenEye doesn't have a lot of role-playing elements. It follows a movie. Yes, you do play as James Bond, but there's no leveling up. It's a very like you point and shoot, you have ammunition. There isn't really any sort of mechanic that involves tiers or skill trees, right? Even though you are playing the role of James Bond, it's not quite a role-playing game. So I get it. Right. I get it. But like, would Assassin's Creed be a role-playing game for you, Rolls? You got to collect those things and level up your weapons, right?
All of those are considered. I mean, they all, if you min-max any character in any game with like stats of any type, or you pick up glowing orbs to like level, like God of War technically has RPG elements. See,
right? I used to think that. I don't think just leveling up is a role-playing game. Though.
Sure, no, fair. I think
Call of Duty, level up, not a role-playing game.
You're right, but they've totally snuck in all of those RPG elements into those games.
Absolute legend, right? That's because I'm always right.
Yeah. It's definitely not an RPG, but you would be hard pressed to find a game that doesn't have any type of like because what RPG elements do is pad a game.
Yeah. So this is it. Not a fan of grinding to be able to actually play. See, he wants to get into a game. And
sure, that's fair. So you're a fan of like platformers and like maybe like arcade style games, right? Anything that you could like pop in and get that instant gratification.
Yes. But I mean, like, would Dead Cells qualify as a good game for roles, right? It's got all those elements, but you do have to unlock things as you get better in the game.
Yeah, I think Dead Cells would be a perfect one because A, it's a platformer, B, it's short bursts of fun. And while you don't have to really pay attention to the leveling up, you will. Like, because even those like 20-minute like game intervals, you're just going to be like, and eventually it'll get that
bite size. Yeah, it's like Spelunky. Give Spelunky a try, Rolls. That one will enrage you.
Yeah.
JRPG and their Western RPGs are totally different. Fallout and Oblivion for the win. I'm with you, teams. Fallout.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Also, but you can also see the influences of JRPG into some of those like Fallout and Oblivion, and vice versa. You see some of the American role-playing elements have been moved over or have kind of bled over into the modern JRPG. Obviously, the old style RPG of the turn-based action and all that has not, but almost every JRPG now is like not turn-based. It's very rare to see like a old style Final Fantasy like enemy hero and then like turn-based. You don't see that very often.
They typically have like Persona 5, for example, is that, but it's got some sort of other interactions in it that make it interesting.
There's really no downtime unless you turn. There's usually you have to go in the menu and turn off like certain action battle moments or whatever to kind of like give you that pause between things.
There's so much style. I just want to turn some of it off to make the game even faster, right? Like I just like, let me just get through this faster. Oh, wait, sorry. I didn't mean, let's throw it out. For the record though, I'm not against leveling up to an extent. I mean, look at games like Zelda, right? Yes. You get more powerful weapons. Yep. Gratification of progressing in the game rather than kind of being stuck until you get to your power to 100. So yes, Rolls, I'm with you there. And I also understand a frustration in that all games have all of these elements designed to make you play them as long as possible.
Right.
It's kind of like how everything at one point had a loot box in it, or everything's got, or
they're the modern game trends, right? You know, they everything kind of full circle to bring stuff back. Speaking of, let's talk about this wonderful bit of news here, because that is something that everyone's been waiting for. And not that we don't have 3 billion ways of playing these things. But
I was going to say, don't you have like 17 Game Boys?
I'm pretty sure I could just reach over and grab something.
But you can.
Game Boy games are being added to Nintendo.
Oh, look at there! Like, look at this. I'm sorry. Look at this old game on our sweet new system.
Anywhere, just like you could back in the day.
Back in the day.
What's that?
Let's introduce the games that
the
will be
sound of
at launch.
Millions of retro gamers screaming out in frustration.
Arrange the falling
It's emulation.
High score. Super Mario Land.
I mean, there's already rending and tearing about why can't I just buy this? Why do I have to have your service and I don't get to own these? And I'm like,
of Zelda, Link's Awakening DX.
You have 50 billion other ways to own this. Like, I don't. What do you want?
What do you want? They don't know what they want.
No one knows what they want.
Oh, dude, I remember Gargoyle's Quest.
Ghost and Goblin series.
Woo.
Game & Watch Gallery 3.
Do I really want
Game & Watch titles.
Nobody asked for that.
I like these.
These are like what
in the dark.
I like those because I didn't have any other games to play. Joe.
Game & Watch for fun.
Island. Metroid 2: Return of Samus. Destroy the Metroids hiding on planet SR-388.
This was a good one. I played the hell out of it.
Oh yeah.
Wario Land 3. Traverse a world that changes between day and night based on your actions.
Yeah, I feel like my kid would look at this and go, "Oh, what is this? What are you playing, Daddy?"
Float, inhale, and spit out enemies in Kirby's debut title.
I mean, this one's a good one. How about this one, Rose? Do you like Kirby?
You can use the Game Boy, Game Boy Pocket, or Game Boy Color screen filters. Up to 2 players can play compatible games together.
Can I play Advance Wars and original Game Boy Advance? Up to 2 players.
More
Excellent.
games will be added in the future.
Oh, the Pokemon trading card game?
Yeah. And then boom, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Game Boy Advance games are being added to Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack.
Holy crap, what?
Here are the games that you can play at launch.
Oh.
Super Mario Advance 4. Super Mario Brothers 3.
Team Bandori, yes, you can. As a matter of fact, even Advance, check this out.
WarioWare Inc. Mega Micro Games.
Mario Kart on here can be played online 4-player.
That's amazing.
Kuru Kuru Kururin. Guide the spinning stick to the goal without hitting obstacles. Mario Kart Super Circuit. Race in the first Mario Kart
I love this
game
one.
Created for a portable system. Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. Venture through a zany world and fight with
RPG, baby.
zany attacks.
Sorry, Rolls.
The Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap.
My favorite portable
solid game.
Zelda game. My favorite one.
Local and online play is supported for compatible games, and up to 4 players can play together.
That's amazing. Online play, baby. I mean, again, they built this into the emulator, which is why GoldenEye has it. But look, we're getting Fusion. We're getting F-Zero.
After this presentation, you can play these Game Boy titles with the Nintendo Switch Online membership.
And they dropped today.
Game Boy and Game Boy
Rose, no, you've been our number one fan.
Expansion pack membership.
We trolled him too much.
Oh, God.
I always do this.
You always push away the ones you love.
Please,
Oh,
don't go.
Why is there an Ebernick at the bottom right now? I know, right? My channel recommendations show up at the bottom. Like, hey, if you like this, you probably want to talk about emulation. Like,
Oh, Joe, no.
Yeah, no, that was again, Ghost Drop. That at the end of, I mean, they went live right after the event happened. You can go online and update and go download if you're already a Nintendo
And this
Online.
is part of their like Switch package.
Yeah, it's part of their subscription, right? So if you pay for the normal one, you get Game Boy. If you pay for the big expansion pack one, you get all of that. So you get Game Boy Advance and all that. So it keeps adding up, right? So now you get all the N64 games and the Genesis and all that with the expansion, plus expansion packs or DLC add-ons for games that you buy. Like they're really making it worth it for the year price, considering that some of those DLCs are like $20, and then the year package is only like 30 or something like that. So again,
34, yeah, it's 13.
yeah.
13.
Yeah.
It's not Game Pass though, so
it's not a Game Pass for sure. So yeah, and again, that was again something that everyone had been asking for. Everyone thought it was kind of almost asinine, right? Here we have a system that's dockable and you can take portably, but you can't play any of the portable systems. Like the Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance were not systems that you could play on the Switch. So that's great. It's now available right at the end of its lifespan.
Well, that gives it a little bit more time for them to bleed that subscription service out and get folks to play the game and hand it to your kids so they can play it. I get it.
The game that keeps on giving, of course, they also announced a fourth booster pack for Mario Kart 8. So
wow.
Even more courses.
A brand new
Ooh.
Zooming into
this game has just become almost a games. What is it? What is it called? Games as a service in a way. I mean, you buy the game, but they've given you so much now. There's so many courses now. And a new character.
I love Mario Kart, but there's like there's a skill level that I'm at, and You've
never been able to transpire that?
I've never been able to move it up to the level where like people just spin out the whole way all around tracks or anything like that. So I just get destroyed every time I play it.
Yeah. Yeah.
There needs to be some sort of scrub league. Like I need to be scrub league. Not like a parents league. Like I'm worse than those folks. I need a scrub league. Like you don't know how to dash your way through the whole map? Let's put you in this league. That's me. That's where I need to go.
I remember when I used to play a lot more Mario Kart. I was really good, but I would only get better when I actually played against other humans. Like it's hard for me to play even online, because it's that adrenaline, that hype of friends, and you keep pushing yourself further and further and further.
Yeah, except for me, it's like chess, right? If you play someone who's too far above your level, you never get better, right? All you do is throw blue shells and annoy them, right? That's all that happens. That's what I do when I play Mario Kart.
What do we? I'm gonna pull out the scroll again. The scroll of get good. I
just don't know how. I just never figured out how. It's just one of those games that I just like. It's a driving game that I'm not, and I'm just not good at driving games. That's my life. So, but I love it. I love Mario Kart, and I'm sad that I can't get good at it. That's it. I can't believe you're dropping "get good" on me for Mario Kart, man. That's like a party game. I'm not playing Gran Turismo.
Oh, buddy. It's a party game at 50 to 100 and maybe 100 cc. Once you get to 150 and 200 cc, it's competitive. It's esport level good.
It's esport level.
It's straight up Twitch level play. Like.
It's a blue shell. That's all.
No, you could block. You can get good enough to block and dodge blue shells.
Yeah, this is where I am, team. Like, I'd rather just play casual than learn when to drift exactly and when to boost. Like, there's these people who have mastered the map so hardcore.
Yeah. Oh, they master it to the point that they know every shortcut. They know where they take every.
And it's not. Is it fun for those people to crush someone like me? I guess so, because that's what they do, right?
Right, but. I guess what makes it harder for those people. So I've got a buddy of mine that's really good. Like I've seen him play. Like he blows away anybody in person when we're like together. But then like he'll play online. He'll put up clips of him playing, and they're intense because he's playing against online and they match you with rankings. So you're playing with people kind of closer to your skill level, and also the craziness of the weapons means that you don't always win, even no matter how good you are, because again, blue shell or whatever. So there's
Lightning bolt, bullshit. Yeah.
you could go from like about to win to like 8th place in like 3 shells, because red shell, blue shell, banana peel, bomb, it all happens all at once. I mean,
That's why for me it's a party game. You talk trash until you get blue shell. Thanks for jumping on, Dan. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Dan. Thank you. It's like Tekken 7 show. Yeah. With those juggling, you on a casual, right? I mean,
well, Tekken 7 because it's a fighting game team, so like
that
one get good, right?
It's fighting games. I mean, yeah, I was playing Tekken 7 earlier today, and it's one of those games where you gotta you get good to a point, and once you're playing against someone that's good at the juggle and the the footsie and all of that, it's a very different level of play. You have to know really how to counter and all that. It's just a different
and that's when your brother gets you at a combo so bad and then says you may have just put that controller down.
Clown simulator. Sure. I mean, I get it. Tekken 7 is either you love it or hate it. Some people don't like it, and I can totally agree with that, why they don't. There's some changes, although Akuma's in Tekken 7, which is my main on Street Fighter, so he's also like
main on Street.
Yeah.
Oh, it's garbage.
Yep.
I thought Guile was your main.
No, I am not a Guile main. Definitely not. Oof. No. Absolutely not. No.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
So let's rock. Let's play.
Dan. I'm all about Dan, because if I beat you, you feel bad. If I lose, I'm playing Dan.
You're playing Dan. Dude, Dan mains are evil. Like they're no joke.
Because it hurts when you get beat by Dan. You're like, God damn it.
I mean, but it's also like impressive to see.
My main is Dan.
Dan is great. Like Dan is one of those hidden. He's kind of a glass cannon, right? Because he's like when he fails miserably, but when he gets you, he can do some damage. Like it really, you just got to hurt his. He does a lot of chip damage. Anyway, it's lots of Dan players know what they're talking about. Anyway, let's talk about the big.
Dan's one of those guys. Yeah.
Let's talk about the big release or the big game. The Tears of the Kingdom, and this is again. I'm excited for this. Like I can't wait for it. It's also a little controversial. This game is the first game Nintendo is releasing at $70. It is not a $59.99 game. It is a $69.
It costs $10 more. All right, drop it. Let's see.
You know our hobby, and you know the people that enjoy our hobby. Anything that changes, we don't like change.
No, it's
even though the PS5 has had $70 games for the past 3 years now, and no complaints, but it's a Nintendo game. Yeah. As oh God, they're going to charge. I mean, the comments I read online, which is so funny, is they're charging $70 for a game that's going to run at 15 frames a second at 480p. Because they got to throw stats out immediately.
Who cares?
Like it's not about how fun the game is anymore. It's about, it doesn't look good because it doesn't run at like 4K, 120 frames a second.
And those don't look good either. Just because it runs at 4K doesn't mean it looks good.
It's just, again.
All right. Show it because we got to close this out. Show us.
We got to close this out. Let's go. Boom. Let's go. The game I've been waiting on.
Team Pandora says, because of the weekend and crap on the industry, buying things on Steam from Japan is painful. Interesting. Economic reasons for the high cost.
Yeah.
So this is it. When does this come out?
So this is May.
Very soon. So it's going to take place in the same world, or is it? All right.
It's a sequel. Zelda hasn't really done that often, where a sequel one after the other. Like this is a direct sequel to Breath of the Wild.
Leave no survivors.
Oh boy. I like how every shot is him running from something. Just run.
He's like, I'm outmatched. The Shadow of the Colossus there.
Link, I'm not sure You'll be able to stop him.
Oh, of course. Level up enough and grind enough.
Of course, baby.
I got this.
Gotta get all pieces of the Triforce. Gotta get all 3 pennants and
Gotta Sonic my way through those rails. What the hell is that? What?
yeah.
Oh, nice. It looks great, just like the other one.
So good. So good.
Looking forward to seeing everybody playing
Big
70
hype.
hours of it.
Please, lend him your power.
Oh, I assume that's how they take away his power.
I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean,
like, is there a lot of ripping and rending? If it's a sequel, you should be able to take your character from the first one and bring him over, right? That's so. How do they reset Link? How are they that's?
I mean, there might be that, but just like Metroid Prime, for example, right at the very beginning, the beginning of Metroid Prime, you're Samus with all of your gear, and then like you get like all your stuff falls off, right?
Right.
It's
like DM Fiat, like all of your gear is gone, mate.
Yeah.
You wake up in prison.
Symphony of the Night, right? Like your Alucard, you run into the castle, you've got all your awesome gear, and then Death goes, pulls it up, you're like, what? And all of a sudden you got like no sword. You're like punching skeletons
You're
for the first.
Wondering how I got here.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So I mean, I don't know. I'm sure story-wise it has something to do with the arm thing. From what I'm looking at, from what you're gathering is the end of the first one, right? You defeat Ganon, you defeat the big thing, and you save Princess Zelda, who's been like kind of holding back Ganon with her magic for 100 years, and you've been dead for 100 years, or in the Tomb of Resurrection is what they call it, right? You've been asleep healing for 100 years. And so at the end of the first game, you're kind of just with Zelda, and they don't really say, but it almost seems like you're on like a quest to either like rebuild the kingdom or kind of, because there's no one left. The kingdom is in ruins. Zelda's really the only member of the royal family. There's not really a kingdom anymore. It's been 100 years. You've got these like small villages that are just like in corners of the map because the map is overrun with villainy. So the lifestyle in Hyrule is very like quelled. You can't really live without danger. And so you defeat all that and there's a moment of peace, but obviously something still happens. Like the evil is not gone. There's some sort of like,
well, there's always another evil.
There's always another evil. And it looks to me like, A, the evil comes back, and B, like I don't know if she gets captured or whatever, but I was hoping, I mean, again, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm hoping there's more interaction with her. She's such an interesting character in this version of Zelda. She's got more dialogue. She really fought against the like princessness of it all. Like she really didn't want, like her father, like when you read the story and get all the memories, you realize that she was like, her father was constantly telling her like, you need to just like read and learn how to wield that like inner magic that you're born with. And she's like, but I can build stuff. I can harness this tech. I'm smart. And he was like, no. You got to learn how to use this magic thing. And sure enough, when time came to use it, she couldn't pull it out of her because she hadn't, like, there was like a moment of like self-doubt. And then she did, which allowed her to use the magic to hold Ganon back and then keep Link alive. But then, like, at the end of the first game, she's with you and she's like, in adventure gear, ready to like tackle this world of like what's gonna happen. So I don't know. I'm hoping it's not another like damsel in distress to go save Princess Zelda. I'm hoping it's more of a like, you've got to save this like world. It's.
But she's definitely not a playable character.
I don't know, man. Like I would hope maybe she is. Maybe some sort of story arc. There's a moment where you play with her and then she kind of has to hold something back. I don't know, but she's definitely an available like character. She's a fully filled out fledged character by the end of the first game. And I don't want her to just be like locked up in a dungeon or held back, just unable to like interact with for the entire 300 hours that this game is going to be, right?
300, 400, 500
Well, at least that's how many hours I'm going to put into it.
All of you are going to play it.
Yeah, what's this game
playing it today?
Can't wait. Anyway, drops in May. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The only other news this week, and I'm not even going to touch upon it, is Hogwarts Legacy. I want to just say here at the end of this show, a lot of controversy on that game. What side of the fence you are kind of on that one is up to you. I will not judge you for buying that game. There should be no judging from us as
Not from the
gamers.
Mid-Geek. There's enough judging.
There's enough judging out there. There's no need to go out and hate, hate watch and start insulting people streaming the game. Developers have been paid. Giving money to the game and the studio just increases sales, which increases popularity, which gives more money to someone like JK. But that said, though, not buying the game and hating the game. If it's a good game, developers put their heart and soul into it. And also they get bonuses, how it sells and reviewed and whatnot. So they put all of this work and effort into a game that's probably good and then gets, just get hate reviewed and, bombed and whatever, the review bombing and all that.
Dishonest sabotage.
It's dishonest sabotage. Like, judge the game for the game. Hate the author for what the author is. And, whatever she says and disparages people is an awful human. I'm not, it's just a mess. Her tweets are absolutely vitriol awfulness. She sides herself with awful people, but the game is bad. I mean, will I ever play it? I mean, there's a little bit of FOMO, right? I'm looking at some of the streams and the gameplay, and it looks really cool. But
we know one person who won't play it.
Yeah.
Rolls.
Rolls won't play, right? Rolls won't play because it's an RPG. But also, I want to play it, but I'm not going to. I have chosen, my personal choice has been like, I'm not going to give any money. If I can pick it up on a Steam sale, maybe, or if I buy it from one of those like key sites where maybe she won't get money because they practically are stolen keys, maybe I'll do that. But I'm not going to go and pay $70 or whatever to buy this game at the moment. If it drops on Game Pass or whatever, maybe I'll play it because it is out on Xbox.
I'll play it on Game Pass. I mean, I enjoyed Harry Potter, but I didn't need to live in the universe. I get younger folks did. So
and that's the hurtful part of this whole like story and this whole like ordeal with JK and all that. There's a world created around kind of inclusivity. You've got all forms of life and culture and whatever being these wizards, and you're literally fighting like wizard Nazis, right? Like, isn't that the exact premise of
you're fighting wizard Nazis, but like it's a prestigious exclusive school where goblins are slaves unless they get a sock. So
right. There's like a lot of underlying there's those are elves.
Watch this show.
No, for sure. There's problematic moments in the story that you kind of go back and go but the community, like every fan base, makes it their own. And they have made it their own for a very long time, and they thrive on it and celebrate it. And then when the author comes out and says horrible, disparaging things about some of the fans of her own franchise, it sucks. So
it sucks.
That's all I'm going to say. If you're playing it, enjoy it. Let us know how you're liking it. I'm not going to play it, but go for it. I enjoy seeing other people enjoy it. By all means, you will not be judged by me. Like, subscribe, share, enjoy, go follow us. We will be here next Wednesday on the show. There will probably be more news as we get into the summer and closer to E3 and all of that. But yeah, that's all
we are got on Wednesdays. So
Wednesday, 8:30, 9:30 Eastern time on New York time. The best time, right? Is that what you call it?
Eastern Standard Time is the best time. Everyone enjoy your Super Bowl. I think that's coming up soon, so enjoy that.
Superb Owls.
So Superb Owls, yes.
Superb Owl.
Enjoy the dips and the foods. The
Pepsi products. All the Pepsi products and the Frito-Lay and the Doritos. And
that's right. Make sure to support Cautious's pension. That's the Cat has not been there the whole time. Just came in because Cat knows 11 o'clock is my bedtime.
Yep.
Wondering what's going on.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us and spending your Wednesday night with us. We always appreciate it.
Yes. Like, subscribe, share, throw up your video games. Let us know what you're doing.
Join the Discord, everyone.
Join the Discord.
Another episode in the can.
Yeah.
Take care, everyone.
Be kind.